Our politically incorrect segment tonight. The Oscars were on Sunday night, and the big story was presenters Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway mistakenly presenting the award for Best Picture to La La Land that should have gone to Moonlight. But the real story was how much of a disaster it is when award shows try to get political, and conservative viewers notice that. According to a new poll conducted by The Hollywood Reporter, 66% of Trump voters said they've stopped watching an award show before because a celebrity started talking about politics while accepting an award. Take a look.
For Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
With me now, staff writer for The Federalist, Bree Payton. Bree, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. Bree, this was such a disaster. I mean, in a sense, it didn't surprise me that it was the lowest ratings in 9 years, although maybe they did this kind of stunt for ratings, because it seems to me it's just not that difficult to read the proper name from the proper envelope.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself, but I think the fact that it was, just at the very end of the award show kind of wouldn't make sense as a viewership gimmick, right? Like, it would kind of make more sense if they did that at some point in the middle of the show, because then everyone would be like, oh, what's going on, and want to tune in. So I don't know, although maybe they're trying to do this to preemptively gin up some viewers for the award show next year. As you pointed out, they've been hemorrhaging viewers over the course of the past couple of years. And if we look back, at some of the controversies surrounding the Academy Awards, last year was the great Oscars So White controversy of 2016. And then the year before that was the wage gap controversy took over the red carpet in Hollywood. So, I think it's pretty clear that as that award show has been getting increasingly political, people are just tuning out.
Right. To me, it seemed like there were a lot of moments of irony. That among them, I guess, because these are the same Hollywood elite who claim that President Obama is incompetent at their job when clearly they're not competent enough to get the correct envelope here. But I want to show a video here. I want to go through some of these moments of hypocrisies. And this video is of an Iranian filmmaker who calls Trump's actions inhumane. Take a look.
I'm sorry I'm not with you tonight. My absence is out of respect for the people of my country and those of other 6 nations whom have been disrespected by the inhumane law that bans entry of immigrants to the U.S.
Bree, she was standing in for Iranian filmmaker Asghar Farhadi. He said he did not want to come to the United States. He did not want to come to the award shows because Trump's immigration, his refugee executive order, was inhumane, not allowing people to travel from these 7 countries to the United States or vice versa. Bree, he's from Iran. He didn't talk about any of the egregious human rights violations that happen in his own country.
Yeah, you're completely right. And I think, just denying the sovereignty of another country that has given him so much opportunity is kind of a little bit of a slap in the face when you do think about that a little bit. And you are right in that, gay people aren't treated the same way in Iran as they are here. There are differences in terms of, the way people are treated and the level of liberal, society that is allowed in Iran versus the United States. So I do think it is a little bit hypocritical of him to double down on that.
Right, and just to be blunt here, I mean, you can disagree he can disagree all he wants with President Trump's executive order. I have no problem with that. We're, a republic. We're free speech. You can say whatever you want. You can take whatever political view you want here. But inhumane, that word inhumane, disagreeing with a political agenda or a political policy is not, that doesn't make the policy inhumane. Pushing gay people off of a building because of their sexuality, that's what happens in Iran. That's inhumane. And I don't know. I was just very troubled that he didn't say anything about that. The second moment of hypocrisy, Bree, is the blue ribbons. I don't know if you noticed this. A lot of the celebrities on the red carpet had these blue ribbons on their dresses, on their suits, on their tuxes. These were supposed to represent the ACLU. But again, Bree, this is so hypocritical because this is the ACLU who only stands up for people that they agree with politically. They don't stand up for gay people if they're conservative or Republicans. They don't stand up for women unless they're liberal feminists. I mean, it's a double standard.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah, and as you pointed out, that double standard was on display on the red carpet. And I think if you were to press some of the celebrities about really why they are supporting the ACLU, and ask them to bring up cases that they are happy about or whatever that the ACLU's represented, I doubt that they would be able to talk about that in any greater detail other than, just a cool ribbon on their dress.
No,
But
I think they'd probably they'd probably point to President Trump's directive to send the transgender bathroom issue back to the states, and they'd probably say that that's anti-gay. One more thing, Bree, before we go. Gail Garcia Bernal said that he was against any kind of wall that separates us. Take a look.
As a Mexican, as a Latin American, as a migrant worker, as a human being, I'm against any form of wall that wants to separate us.
Bree, how many celebrities and actors in that room do you think live in gated communities?
Yeah, that's a great point. And also, I honestly don't understand the ideological opposition to a wall. I understand, arguing about it from a practical standpoint. Is this practically going to keep us the safest? I don't know about that. But I really don't understand the ideological opposition to a wall. We already have, walls and fencing in certain spots along the border. So it's not like this is an entirely new concept. And thus far, everything, has been okay in terms of no one's lost their humanity over the fact that there's been fencing or a border wall in certain parts of the border.
Right, and I don't think any mainstream Republican is advocating for no immigration. They're advocating for no illegal immigration so that we can further speed up the effectiveness and the speed of legal immigration. We want these people to be here. We just want them to be here legally, and we don't want terrorists or people that are going to commit crimes. Like I said, it's just hypocrisy, one thing after another. But Bree, we're out of time. Thanks so much for being here.